Prayer of BONGO WATTO. Give thanks and aises unto the living I, Emperor Haile Selassie. There are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David. Pray for the love of Jerusalem, and for them that prosper that love thee. Love within thy wall, and prosperity within thy palaces. Because of the house of the living I, Emperor Haile Selassie I, King Rastafari I, will continue to seek I love forever and ever, throughout the four wings of the heavens, to the foundations of the earth. Through I great, mighty, and praiseworthy Haile Selassie I, King Rastafari. I was glad when the I say unto I, come, let us go into the house of the living I feet must stand in the gates of O Jerusalem. Jerusalem is built as a city, compact together. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to come together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that run upon I beard to the skirts of I garments, as the dew of Hermon that ascend on Mount Zion. For there the Most High, eternal, immortal, Haile Selassie I, has commanded his blessings to give life for ever and ever. Let the words of thy mouth and the meditations of thy heart be freely accepted in thy sight, O thou Most High, Emperor Haile I, strength and Redeemer, who live and reign for ever and ever. The eye is the lamp unto thy feet, and the light unto thy path. The path of the Almighty is mercy and truth to such that keep his covenant and his testimony. Pardon our iniquity, and block out our transgressions, so that I can behold thy face in glory, now henceforth and forever. Haile Selassie, King Rastafari. I Supreme Majesty, Haile Selassie, King Rastafari, eternally, only King of Zion, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, Haile Selassie I, King Rastafari, live and reign for ever and ever. Bless I, sanctify I, and cause thy holy countenance to shine upon I, that I must be free from all I enemies, both now and forever. Selah. Chapter 3. Yadop. Born July 1st, 1925, Bongo WATTO is the self-proclaimed founder of the House of Nyabingi, starting from 1947. Bongo WATTO declared, quote, I started this campaign when I was 13 years old. I went around the street preaching Rastafari. I heard the voice of the elder, Brother Howell. By that, we used our scripture because His Majesty said Ethiopia has the oldest version of the Bible, to respect the value of the history of Ethiopia. So, that is what we have to use as the strength of the black man history. I went around daily in the street preaching about His Majesty. This came with great tribulation. I was locked up in prison several times. I became a jailbird for Babylon. They throw a man in jail any time they want. Sometimes I spent 20, 30, or even 49 days without charge. That was not all. I was beaten several times. I was charged and cast in prison. One time I was locked up 18 months for rioting. I sure did not commit any riot. I was charged for the breach of prison law and cast in prison for 1 more year. I was also charged for herb. Plenty of my years was spent in jail and prison for this, 'cause not for lying or trying to disturb the peace. I tried to disturb the spirit of men with righteousness. I glad for the inspiration that the Father gave unto I, so that I could share it with my brethren. Whoever has an ear to hear, let him hear. The commandment is to preach the doctrine to all nations and kings of the earth, that all people in our times coming up, there were great tribulations. In 1960, we took up a conversation with Arthur Lewis, the Chancellor of the University of the West Indies of Jamaica. He was a black man, and he heard our voice. the UWI Chancellor started an investigation into the relationship of Rastafari and the police to find out the root cause of the long war between Rasta and police. When His Majesty came in 1966, it was an example to all of them. His Majesty told them to leave them alone. I was in the presence of His Majesty in 1966 when he visited Jamaica. A superintendent police named Gordon Landon, who in 1954 stopped our march through Kingston City and locked us all in jail. We spent 32 days in jail. During the march, the superintendent asked for our permit to march. I handed him my Bible, which I had in my hand. On the day of court, the judge wanted to know what permission we had to march. Police Gordon Landon told the judge that I handed him a Bible as the permission. The judge took a note about that. In 1966, when His Majesty came to visit Jamaica, the same policeman, Landon, was present when I stood before His Majesty. Gordon Landon said to me, "His Majesty wants to know from me why I grow my locks so tall." I replied, "What you say?" I asked him the question twice. I give the police superintendent the history of locks. First, I brought to his attention the priest order of Hebrews 7, the status order of the Nazarene order of number 6, and Revelation 14 and 7. He was quite amazed within himself. He then turned to the king, who stood up and said to him, "Warriors, traitors, be still, and know I am he. Leave them alone, for they know what they are doing. They are right." On the journey, they try to disturb Rastafari meditations with the use of herb, and I have been working over many years. We try to get the police underfoot so that when they see you on the street, they don't disturb you. Then only the police can attack you. For the use of the herb, the ganja otherwise, they don't disturb you. If the police visit the Nyabingi Assemble and see herb on the table, they can't touch it, as there is a law not to disturb the Nyabingi Tabernacle. If you are on the street and you have herb, the police can lock you down for that. Bongo Watto visited Pinnacle and had discussions with Leonard Howell in 1945, 46, and 47. Pinnacle is where one had to go to get the best herbs, as the old Howellite chant goes, to, quote, "reap up the gongo," unquote. Watto affirmed that he would go to take in Howell's services and stay for several days at a time. He had some face-to-face sessions with Howell. Watto founded the Nyabingi Order in 1947 in Trenchtown. The prelude to this, in Watto said he was, quote, "working in Brickyard and Boys Town, keeping up meetings. Busta," he says, "mashed up this place in 1946. At that time, Trenchtown as just a cane piece. During the dispersal of brethren, or was it just Buru or other people, from Brickyard, West Kingston, Watto claims that he took the Roomba drums that were used when prisoners came back to the country from jail. This was a feature of Buru drumming at the time. Watto then started his place in Trenchtown in 1947, started his tradition upon the street. At that time, we used to take one drum, the repeater, upon the street, and keep meeting. I create this Nyabingi sound from 1947. No one else.